Ladies, would you date a bus driver? Oh man, y'all probably already know where we're going with this at this point, but Ebony K. Williams had a conversation with Ayamla, and they were talking about modern relationships. They were talking about modern women, and conversation went toward a different direction where it was kind of piggybacking off, but they were basically talking about like what do women do or how do they approach guys, being in a situation where the guys just aren't measuring up to what they're wanting, I guess. And Ayala asked her a crazy question that led to a moment that social media been going crazy about, and we're going to talk about it as well. The conversation of men riding buses, I guess. But before we do, like this video, hit the subscribe button, and let's check this out.
We know that Black women are earning college degrees faster than anybody else. Many of us are doing like we're doing, Ayala. We're getting those terminal degrees, those JDs, MD, PhDs. We also are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research said that women are now out-earning men in 22 of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, D.C., L.A., you name it. When we talk, and I know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man, so I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayala, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build. When some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? You. Would you date
if he owns the bus?
Her face.
If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together. I can build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on the side in my prenup, but I can build with a bus driver. So I think some of the criteria that we look for in the reality of today keeps us unhappy, keeps us angry, keeps us imbalanced. And then when the men show up, we want to beat them up because they're not living up to our standards and criteria. And it's not working, beloved. It's just not working. So it's not that it's bad or wrong. It's obsolete. It's obsolete. We have to come up with a new way of being. I don't believe in carrying a man. A man has to do for himself. My son got his first job when he was 9. Okay? Because you're a Black man, you will know how to take care of yourself. But I think the way we measure it, it's just obsolete.
All right. Ayamla said it's obsolete, the way we measure men. Cami, I'm going to let you go for it.
She was on point today. Like, I can't even argue at all. I think about this, from our perspective, you should definitely be friends with a person before you even consider, going the deeper levels of relationship, considering marriage, things like that. Okay. So I'm thinking about me and my girlfriends. I'm doing this over here. They doing this over there. We don't judge them like that. Like, you're not really to my level. You're not making my money, the same amount of money that I'm making, whatever, things like that. And it's just like, y'all want to go to a trip? Whether you got to save up, whether I got it now, whatever, we're going to trip, whatever. You just enjoying each other, having fun. Y'all got a relationship. You love each other, things like that. Okay. I think that's important. Because I know women, I am friends with women who has the same point of view. Like, you're not making what I'm making. You're not doing this. And then she said, and they don't even show themselves well as leaders. And I think that's not fair. Okay, the host did what she had to do to feel accomplished. Maybe when she was younger, she said, I want to get these degrees. And so she accomplished those things. Okay, good for you. Wonderful. But the man that you see, he's crossing off all the other things. Is wonderful, respectful, take care of you, like Ayana said, all those things. But then you like, okay, he's making this much, I'm making this much. That just don't match up. I got this many degrees.
Right.
And he, got his associates. Things like that. That's not fair. And 100%, she said, I'm not talking about men laying on the couch, playing video games all day, doing nothing, no plans, no aspirations. That's out. Period. We can all agree
Yeah.
it's not happening. I don't think so. But he takes care of his own. However he's making his money. It's legal, okay? And he has a place he staying at, whatever, that he may own or he's renting, whatever. He take care of his bills, things like that. If he has children, as we get older, you know, man might have children. He's taking care of his kids. She said he loves his mama. I'm agreeing with all of this. Yeah. Sounds like a good man to me. You know, for me, is he a man of God? Is he living the life as a man of God? Not just I'm a Christian on paper, but I'm talking about meaning if he doesn't know the answer, he's going to go to God to help him if he becomes your future husband when y'all making those tough, hard decisions, okay? So, no, it's not even about that. Like, that is shallow, and that will limit your options because you might as well go find somebody who is in your cohort. Because why do they have to have the exact same accomplishments as you? Like, that's not fair.
I got a question for you, Cami.
What?
Did you know that over 50% of the people that watch our videos are not subscribed?
What y'all own?
So do us a quick favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any notification or future videos that we put out. Yeah, no, I think that's good. Ayala asked her a really good question in that moment because it was like a question to gauge her. It was like, okay, would you want to date somebody who's in this profession, you know, bus driver? And her thing was bus owner was her response. So right off the bat, for her,
another bracket.
She's saying she probably thought she wasn't diminishing the bus driver, but she did because she's like, if he's not owning the bus, this isn't the owner. So you're basically talking about somebody who is in the highest percentile of men, not even just black men. Like you're talking about the highest percentage of men now, someone that's an owner, business owner. It's not a lot of those people in general. So now you've already went for a very small subset of men. Now then you're saying like, okay, if I get a black man, like that's your expectation is they have to be the owner for you. I'm like, okay, on an individual level, you can want whatever you want. I think why this blew up so much on social media is because a lot of women think like her. A lot of women think like Ebony, where it's like, if this guy doesn't reflect me in my education, if he doesn't reflect me in my accomplishments, in my boss lady status and things like that, my independence, then like, do I even open up a door for them? Whereas relationships, yes, for a man, you do need to be a provider and protector. Those are like very important factors for a relationship. However, being a provider doesn't mean you have to be rich. You just have to have the ability to provide and the drive to do whatever it takes to be a provider. So working, if you don't have the education, being willing to work as hard as you can for your family to survive and thrive. All of those things
just
matter.
As well with the trade and not going to college, just as if you went to college and got all the degrees. So,
no, exactly. So having that drive in you, so being, you know, hungry, you know, always being willing to work,
determined,
things like that.
All of the above.
Yep.
Yes.
So you having those qualities, and then also being a nice man, like being a really honorable man, noble guy, someone that can be looked up to, but a woman can look up to him because of how hard he works, how he puts in all of this work in, the sacrifices he's willing to make for her and for the family, all of these different things. There are so many qualities that you can get. And a lot of times working class people have these qualities anyway. And those people that, I want the boss of it. Those are, a lot of we just got through talking about high value men. A lot of those high value types are very, you know, are not healthy in terms of like how they view things and how they approach life and things like that anyway. So what the person that she might be mentioning probably isn't for her either anyway. But I feel like a lot of times the expectations are way too high. And I love what Ayala said, where she said that model is obsolete. She said it's obsolete. Essentially saying that just don't work. It don't work that way. You keep on writing off all these guys because the truth of the matter is black women are going to have more education than black men. It's been that way. Like they are the ones that are educated in our community.
For different reasons.
Yeah, for different reasons. Here's the sad part is with all that education, the amount of money that they're generating in a lot of those cases still aren't like that high.
For different reasons too.
Also for different reasons. So it's like one of those sad situations where like all this education ideologically is bringing a barrier between you and the black man, but it's not like your pockets are just overflowing with money and things like that.
And my question for her would be, why are you looking for a man to be with, a husband, you know? Is it to look good with you on paper?
Mm-hmm.
Is it to have someone to spend time with, to go home and talk to and confide in and have those special moments and build a family? Like, why? Because how much focus she's putting on and how much make and, you know, their status and, you know, whatever circles they're in, things like that. It's just like, what is the reason you're supposed to be with this person? Just to show off to other
Yeah, the
people?
trophy.
Like, no, you don't need that. And then keep in mind, you know, we're talking from a husband and wife perspective. Hopefully that's the goal. Are you going to be able to be submissive to him?
Yeah.
Or y'all just both want to be bosses that make that money and things like, no. So.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like she wants to be necessarily something. I don't want to read too much into it. She said very little, but the little that she said was very pivotal. Where it's like, wow,
men who lack in being a leader too. So I'm wondering, like, what type of leader she's wanting those men to be.
What does that say about what's
where she
more
would
likely?
actually like take in consideration what they think, especially if it's counter to what she thinks.
Yeah, what's more likely, Cami, that this person who is just an amazing woman has met all these different type of men, various races. It's just all these men are just scumbags, or she is only making herself available to a certain types of guys, and she's actually the problem. Her selection is the issue. Her expectations is the issue.
The latter.
I think the latter, because in my experience, and again, she got to say her experience, so I'm gonna say my experience. In my experience, women that talk like this generally are not choosing from the right type of guys. They're generally not. There's some hypocrisy in how they are picking out the men. I just have this hunch that, like, a lot of times when women speak like this and speak in this type of way, and I've seen the same thing with men. It really shows it's more of an indication of issues that they have versus it being just such a epidemic. Now, there are issues that men have, and we talk about it. We explain it. We break down those dynamics and have those conversations on this channel. But when you have this type, when that's just the mentality that you operate in, and you're single and you don't have a good track record, and you're bringing out this complaint about this issue of men.
Yeah.
I just think that her posture in this is what really was messed up, and that's why it was so jarring. That's why many people started reading into it, because it's like, wait, why would you say that? You would say, in my mind, I would think that she would say, you know, if he's a great man, I'm open to it. I'm definitely open to doing it if he has X, Y, and Z. He's a good man, godly man, or if he's you know, really a hard worker and all of that. And Ayala also made the point, like, what if he really looks at that as something that, like, it's his purpose. He loves what he's doing and things like that. Yeah. So, very funny conversation. We hope that our dialogue on this has been helpful for you all. But let us know what you all think. Leave a comment. And before you head out, do us a quick favor. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a ton. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.